Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to round 4 of the Secret Not Secret Kit Club telephone game YouTube Hop. And this time I am in the Artistic Arsenal team. Yes, the Artistic Arsenal team. And this one is really fun because I get to be the lead this time. So there are 8 of us participating. Today is day 1. So if you're watching this on February 15th, it's day 1. And we will be posting a project a day right through and including the 22nd of February. So if you recall, this is the round 4. So we've done this 3 times before, and you've probably watched all of those videos. But the telephone game, remember when we were kids and we'd all sit together and one person would tell a story to the next, who would repeat it to the next, and so on. And then at the very end of the chain, it was always fun to see how the story had morphed and changed. Well, we do that with our layouts, and it's so much fun. I'm a little bit nervous this time because I've never been the lead. I've participated in all 3. I've been, I think, number 2, but I've also been like really towards the end. This time I am the lead, and I passed my layout along to Jennifer, who is Kay's mom here on YouTube, and she will have her layout up tomorrow. So hopefully I have linked everybody's channels below so that you can follow along every single day right through until the end. I'm pre-recording this. I'm pre-recording this a couple of weeks early to make sure that I have it up and to make sure that I don't see anybody else's layouts. So since I was the one to lead it off and to start it off this time, I decided to go with one of my go-to designs and a little bit of a bit of a signature background. So one of my go-to designs is this L shape. I love it. I find it's an easy design. It comes together quite quickly. It's a great way to use up strips and scraps and to really focus on like a one photo layout. So I chose the L shape design here, and lately, or I guess the latter part of 2019, I've really been enjoying white cardstock on a pattern paper frame with some inked edges or outlined edges. In this case, I chose to do the inked edges with some stenciling on the background. And as you know, in 2020, I'll be focusing on a stencil a month. And I did this layout, I actually did this layout in December, I think, or very early January. And I used the star stencil from Paige Evans, so more than likely that's going to be my February stencil. And did some stenciling. So I got my pattern paper frame, and of course I gutted it so that I have that middle part to use on another layout. Got my white cardstock here, and I'm using the Vicky Bouton Foundations paper. And I got this stencil, this lovely Paige Evans. I love her stencils. They definitely are some of my favorite. And I used my white light molding paste, and I mixed it with Vibes Deep Blue Sea, and I mixed that to come up with this lovely blue, sort of a little bit, I guess there's a little bit of a gray tone to it. Let's see if I can show you that a little bit closer. Is that showing? I hope I'm doing that right. So all along this sort of L-shaped area, I did my stenciling. And then I just used the Vibes, and I did some splatters. And then I also used, from an ink pad that I have, the Brilliance, the silver ink pad, which I watered down and did some splattering. I don't really know if it shows up on camera, and I told Jen the same thing when I sent her the layout. I don't know if she could actually see it, but in real life you do see it, and it gives just this nice little pop of silver. So I started with that as my background. And I'm using my kit, my baby album kit, because this is in Baby Diego's album for my young friend Gwen. It's aptly called First Smile. And this was actually, she snapped the picture and she sent me the picture of Baby Diego's first smile. I think he was about a couple of months here. So that is the photo I chose to document. Now, before getting the photo, now I obviously chose where the placement would go, but this kit was comprised basically of 3 collections. I have the Pebbles. There's a Pebbles collection. There's a Pink Paisley Little Adventurer. Pebbles, I think it's Lullaby. And then there's Little Wonder. Is that a My Mind's Eye? So there were 3 collections basically in this kit, and a few bits and pieces from my stash. So I started with the 2 main rectangular pieces, which is how I always do my L-shaped design. And I inked them, and I inked them all with, I think the ink, it's a Stampin' Up! Ink called Midnight Blue, which matches this quite well. So I inked my edges, and this piece of paper here, I went back and forth, but in the end, I love that pop of teal. So it's not quite monochromatic, but it sort of is a little bit, because it's in the blues, but then it morphs over into a tealy green, which I think is just lovely. So I got my 2 rectangular pieces of pattern paper down, and then to make the L, what I always do is get some narrower, of course, horizontal pieces, the majority of which I finish in a fishtail, and I stagger them on this side, so it never comes over onto the white cardstock, but generally it definitely comes over the second rectangular piece here. And then, as you can see here, I have 4 pieces of pattern paper here, and they are all staggered. They end here at different places. The bottom one here is just a rectangle, which is there, and then about an inch and a quarter is the second piece of pattern paper that goes on top here, which I inked as well. Then I think this is about, is it an inch or 7/8 maybe? And then ½ an inch. And I stagger the ends here as well. And and then what that gives you is a perfect, you know me and my nooks and crannies, a perfect nook to put the photo. So I get my pieces of pattern paper down. Then the photo, I got the photo, I just backed it on a piece of cardstock here, a light blue, sort of in this blue color cardstock. And then I went into the lovely tissue paper that Christine always includes in our kit. And I did a few layers of that tissue paper, inked it, and mounted my photo on that to just give a little bit of lightness, put it on foam so that it pops right up off the page and it gives a little bit of a shadow. So the next thing then is I got my photo down, and then it's time for embellishing. So of course this area here, I've done the L, the photo, and this is a perfect area then for the title and a little bit of embellishing around the title. And then where everything overlaps here is another perfect place for a little bit of an embellishment cluster. And my habit with this kind of L-shaped design is generally 2 clusters, a little bit on the diagonal, to just bring the focus right into the photo. You go from here through to this cluster of the photo, or this way, so it really brings you, because that photo just not, don't you want to just pinch those little cheeks? Oh, he's adorable. So these lovely thickers came with my Indigo and Ivy kit. So I put first smile because that's exactly what it is. And then this piece of pattern paper, I had a little bit of a triangle. So I just popped it in here, put my title, and then got a couple of hearts, which are in the lighter blues and teals, and put that here where there was this lovely little area just begging for something to be added. Then I got, and these are from 49 and Market. They're they're enamel, I think they call them enamel bubbles, but that is exactly what they are like. They are already mounted on foam. They are not completely round, but they're a little, you know, wonky little circles. And they're just gorgeous, and they sort of have a little bit of a translucent, almost marbly effect, and they are gorgeous. I received one with this kit, and I received one in the Indigo and Ivy kit. One of them is a darker blue, and then this one I used here, the more aqua colors that go well with the color scheme that I've chosen. I then took, this was just a little die cut that I had on my desk. I have this die, and I had used it, I think, for a Christmas project of some sort for one of my little gift card holders, and I had this left over, tucked it in there. A lovely little flare from that flare bowl, a little butterfly, which I think is just so cute. Then I got a few little word stickers, here and now, laughter, because it's his first little smile, enjoy today, which I think are just perfect. And as I've mentioned before, on these layouts, I don't do any journaling. I tend to maybe leave a little bit of an area. If Gwen would like to do some journaling, she could do it along here as this is lined, or she could do it here. If she wants to add something, this will be her album. Every once in a while, I do add a little bit which just has the facts, but generally I don't do any journaling. And then to bring out the silver from the little splatters that I did, I got these, and this is from a Chamel collection. I think it was from the Sparkle City. Silver. Now, it's on pink foam, but you know what? You can't see it all that much, so I'm using it anyway. And I just went and added 3 little stars so that I would have my little triangle, again, to keep framing everything in. So there is my layout for the telephone game, Secret Not Secret Kit Club telephone game round 4. This is day 1. Tune in tomorrow to see what Jen has done with this layout, and then follow along. I can't wait to see where this turns up and how much it will be changed, if it gets turned over this way, if there's more mixed media, less mixed media. On round 3, I don't remember if you noticed round 3, but on round 3 we went totally off the rails and very, very, very early. So it's always so much fun to see. So please join us every day until the 22nd. I will have everybody's channels linked below, and talk to you soon. Thanks for being here. If you liked this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and a subscription if you feel like it. Please sub to me. Talk to you soon. Bye.